Okay. Okay. Everyone has the presentation in front of them, right? Okay. So, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us in this event. It's gonna take around 1 hour, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, depends on the questions. I'm gonna present the project by myself, even though we are 9 partners. And after presenting the partners, our Italy partner will disconnect offline and will present in their own classroom in Italy. Also, it would be really helpful for me if you can register yourself through this QR code so that I have a little bit an overview of everyone that connected. I only need the names and the email address. It's not mandatory, but it would be really helpful for me afterwards. Also, I'm gonna give it some seconds so you can scan it. Also, for those of you that are in a physical classroom and would like to connect through your phone or computer, you can also scan this QR code. It's basically the link to this meeting right now. Okay. In this presentation, I will talk a little bit, a quick overview over the project itself. I will explain the results of the first work package, the second work package, and focus mainly on the last report and work package, as well as we will have some time afterwards for any questions someone can have regarding the project, and finally a survey, quality survey. So the project started after the COVID pandemic around 2022, out of need to address some problems regarding digitalization in vocational education and training centers. It is a program co-funded by Erasmus+. Many of you, some of you may be familiar with Erasmus+. It's basically a program funded by the European Union, and it focuses on education, training, youth, and sport. Its main goal is to support European citizens on their personal and professional development. Basically, it works towards a more digital society that is also greener and more inclusive. Techno-VET, as I said, was born after the COVID pandemic. Its main goal was to improve the digitalization in VET centers across Europe. How did we do this? I will explain in a bit. But basically, the results were. One second. Basically, the results of the projects were in the areas of technology, soft skills, and administrative organization. There are some people in the waiting queue. Okay. All right. There we go. First, before Italy disconnects from the meeting, I wanted to talk a little bit about the partners. We are 9 partners from different backgrounds and sectors. We have in human resources, recruitment, VET centers itself, software developments, and mainly also in the education field. We are 9 partners from 5 countries: Spain, Lithuania, Italy, Belgium, and Germany. How did we divide this project? We divided.
Okay. Alba?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
So
We
now
will.
we disconnect so we can go on with our Italian multiplier.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay. I have to be careful because there are sometimes people that want to join and I cannot see it. But okay, how did we divide this project since it needed to be really structured? So first we created three different work packages with three different results. In the first one, we conducted a survey with many, many questions. You will find those surveys in the website we created, the open source tool. Who were the target groups of this survey? Vet centers, vet trainers, teachers, and trainees students of those vet centers. Those questions regarded mainly topics such as the digitalization state in those vet centers, your own skills, how are you fit enough in the digital field. With we created those surveys with the goal to see what were the weaknesses of actual vet centers in this time in Europe. After the surveys and analyzing all the answers, we come to the next work package, and we created a report with a lot of recommendations on digital tools and strategies to make to turn those weaknesses into strengths. Um, Also, we created some short video pills that I will show you a bit later. That focuses mainly on the teachers and students and their soft skills. Uh, last, at last, we have the last work package. This one focuses on the administrative solutions. That means organization in the vet centers, also the human factor, the training of the trainers itself, and most importantly, we created an open source tool, which is a website that allows people to exchange information, participate themselves, basically like Wikipedia, but it turned out really, really good. And at the end of the presentation, if we have time, I will show you a bit the website because it turned out really, really nice. Okay, we start now with a quick overview of the results of the first report. This is the report where you will find the surveys and the answers to those. If you would like to download it, you have here the QR code. But don't worry if you can do it now. At the end, through the website, we have an option to download all the reports. So we conducted three surveys actually, with a lot of participants, as you can see, 31 vet centers and representatives of vet centers, 90 vet teachers, trainers, and nearly 300 vet students. Some examples of answers we got. In the case of the vet center representatives, we realized that up to more than 60% of the theory classes were able to be taught online, which is good news, could be better, but it's something at least. But on the other hand, we have that only up to 25% of test exams and practical classes could be made online. I can imagine with in vet centers there are some activities that require like physical presence, but in this report and solutions you can learn how to make it possible to do it online. Just also as a quick example, which tools were more useful for vet centers. Of course, we have Zoom and Microsoft Teams for meetings, WhatsApp for communication, email, as well as the tools that Google provides, Google Calendar, Google Drive, Google Slides, and the whole Microsoft package. So PowerPoint, Excel, Word, I think we all know that. Regarding the trainers, they all come from different backgrounds and teach different subjects. We have in the health sector, optometry, they teach subjects on law, finance, communications, and languages, for example. So we try to focus on different sectors to have a more overall view of the improvement opportunities in vet centers. This is also an example of answers from the trainers. As you can see, only 20% thought that a guideline could be helpful. Around 20% as well think that digital tools are already part of their way of working. It's not much. If we think about it, we live in a digital age. In society, it's always evolving, and 20% is not much. It's very little. Around also 20% think that this digitalization of the work of life in general has benefits. It makes everything a bit easier. Also, only 20% think that the school center is prepared for the digitalization process. And also 17% think that their subjects can be taught online. So that means like 80% think it's not possible. Also, online tools that trainers use: Zoom, email, Google, Microsoft Teams, and here it's interesting that they also nearly 50% of the trainers use YouTube as an educational digital tool. Regarding the students and trainees, around half of the students could adapt quickly to new situations. The digital tools and online tools have become a part of how they learned, be it because they use Microsoft Teams or YouTube or management apps. It really depends on the student. And half of the students think that it has improved their work-life experience. I also wanted to say that these are the results we took into consideration of the 5 partner countries. If you read through the report, you will see that sometimes it differs between a country and, for example, Germany and Spain or Belgium. Some countries are more prepared in some aspects, and other countries are not so much prepared. So it's really interesting to have a look at it. It's also very visual, the reports. You have all the answers. Regarding the students, less than half thought that the digitalization process was standardized in their school, and thought that their school were prepared for teaching online and that it was efficient. So less than half of the students. That's also was an expected result, but still it has a lot of room for improvement. For digital tools that students use the most, it's mainly for communication: WhatsApp, email, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams. YouTube, it has actually a lot of educational resources, and other digital tools, similar to the trainers and the vet centers. But mainly the communication and collaboration tools help the most. I'm gonna check if someone wants to join. Okay. So here we arrived at the second part.
Mein Laptop hier nicht, falls die IT das holt, das abzudaten. Ja?
Hello. Please turn your mic off. I don't know.
Hat die ja bestimmt, oder?
Bei Frau Ebert.
Ja. Tschüss.
Hello, I don't know who is the newcomer, but please, if you could turn the mic off so it doesn't interfere. Okay, thank you. So we arrive at the second part of the work package. Here is where we made a report on the strategy and the tools everyone can use to turn those weaknesses we found in the surveys into strengths, like how to overcome them. You have here the QR code to download it. It's the reports are mostly like 40, 60 pages. Has also a lot of images. It's very interesting, actually. So what will you find in this report? In this report, we find strategy, a guideline for digitalization strategy. It describes a specific pathway to overcome those weaknesses and make the digitalization process more efficient at the VET centers. It also answers questions that could arise, like what are our priorities? Where do we start? Because maybe in theory, maybe easy, but in the practice, it's a bit more difficult. How should we involve our employees? How should we train our students? We also provide insight into various type of digital tools and equipment. For example, tools for collaborations, ideation, learning management systems, learning apps, and data storage options. We provide examples of both licensed and open source tool. So how do we implement those tools? You will find that in the guideline, and also how to train VET teachers and trainers adequately. As we can imagine, if I'm a teacher, VET teacher, if I'm familiarized with the digital tools, if I know them, if I really know something, I will be able to transmit it to the students much better. So it's a very important part of this report. Let's continue. Also, we provide best practices, suggestions, and do's and don'ts. Every country has their different suggestions. Also, in this report, we focused on the human factor, on strategies on how to make trainers and trainees comfortable with these digital tools, as I said before. Okay. Now we get to the part of the videos. We like to call them video pills. It's like 2 minutes each video pill, animated both for teachers and students. Some examples is like time management with self-paced learning. If you are, let's say, let's hope not, but let's say another pandemic arises, as a student, you need to be able to know how to manage your time, and it can be difficult sometimes. For trainers, for example, you have a useful video on how to deal with special situations or problems that can arise during a virtual class, technical problems. Yeah. It's also in the report and in the website. You can find it there. Now we get to the last part. This is the part where I wanted to focus a little bit more. This is the part where we created with all the information we had, we created the open source tool, our website. and an administrative guide. You can also download it here. You can screenshot it. Okay, so after you have read through the two previous reports and you get to know all these new tools and you are aware of the problems, now it's the time to ask yourself as a vet center or trainer or trainee, okay, what is my current situation? What are my digital capacities? Before you implement the digital strategy we explained, you have to be able to analyze your current situation. How do you do that? You do that through a digital level assessment test. It will help you identify the strengths and weakness of your center, or as a trainer and or trainee. This test covers aspects such as infrastructure, like hardware, software, digital literacy of staff and learners, and security and privacy. It is basically a diagnostic tool. So once you do this test, you will be able to know where to start. We also provide useful tips and best practices on many different topics that are sometimes overlooked but are equally as important. For example, budgeting, funding sources, cloud storage, risk management. One that is very often overlooked but is very important is data privacy and security online. Also, we give useful tips on how to make online classes more appealing, more entertaining for the trainees, like through gamification, for example. We also provide a very thorough list of different softwares and learning platforms that you can use. Some are free, some are not free. Cost-saving strategies, how to conduct remote tests and exams, and also how to design learning programs by yourself. So summarizing, before I summarize the project, I'm going to share with you the Techno-VET website so you can get a better idea of the project. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah, okay, perfect. All right, so Techno-VET, also a disclaimer, you can find the website and the reports translated in the languages of the partner countries, English, German, French, Italy, Spanish, and Lithuanian. Yeah, so this is the main site. As you can see, I really like it. Also visually, our partner did a really good job on this. You can find a quick overview of the project, the outcomes. Here are the videos I showed you before. And after that, the important part is here. We have the 3 different blogs and work packages. If we go here, we can find the surveys. All this information you can find in the report itself, which you have here. If you download it, I'm going to be really quick. Here. All right. This is the first report with the survey. Here you can find the country reports and the answers regarding technology, administration, soft skills. It's quite interesting actually to have a look at it. And after that, you can find here our analysis on the answers. So then we go to we go to the second part. These were the technological resources. Here we found the best practices, all the list of the digital tools, as well as the video builds. You can download the PDF here in all the languages. This is just an example taken from the report itself. I'm gonna show you the PDF version real quick. Okay. Here you can see the table of contents. You have a lot of different information. I think this one will mainly be useful for the vet trainers and the vet schools itself. But students can find a lot of useful information too. See, we have like examples, like concrete examples. And last but not least, we have the administrative solutions. There we go. We go to the menu and we can find it here, the administrative guide. Here. Okay. Here we have the table of contents. Also for Erasmus Plus and this kind of project, it's also really important to keep in mind that the evolution and digitalization of everything actually, not only in education, but in every aspect, should be made with having the environment in mind and trying to be as green as possible. So we have here sustainable practices, tips on infrastructure and equipment, everything I said before. It's a really comprehensive and very, I think we covered every aspect of it. So yeah, basically you get an idea of our project results. This is an open source tool. So as I said, you as an individual can send us a request, share your opinions. Maybe you have a software that you created, or maybe you have an idea on how to better digitalization. You can contact us and we will publish those tools or those recommendations in this website, like Wikipedia. Everybody can participate. You should be able to find a contact form here, okay? So that way, after we review it, we can upload it here to this open source tool. Okay, so I'm gonna stop sharing. As I said, if you're a vet center, trainers with new interesting ideas, get involved, get in contact with us. I will write our email address so you can contact us for new ideas or collaborations. And here I have it's the moment now. If you have any questions regarding the project, feel free to ask them with the mic on or with the through the chat. Okay. Okay, if nobody has a question, let me check. I don't think so in the chat. Okay, if nobody has questions, I would please ask you to scan this QR code. This one is important for me. It's a survey just to see your opinions on the presentation and on the project itself. You don't need to do it now. I would recommend it. You do it after having a look by yourself at the website. But it's important for me to have an overview of the people that participated here. So you will just need to add your email and your name, and this information is of course confidential. So yeah, I would really appreciate if you do the survey. It takes less than 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so thank you all for joining the presentation. I hope you could get a bit of an overview of how we conducted the project. It were 2 years of work and a lot of research and meetings, but I think the end result is, I'm really proud of the end result, which is the open source website with all the reports. And I think it's really it's a very good tool for vet centers and to better themselves and adapt to these changes in society and regarding the digitalization. And yes, thank you also to all the partners involved in the project and to all the participants that joined. And yes, I will think we can end it here. If you have any questions, just write me an email or contact us through the Techno-VET website. I will leave the link to the website, even though you have it in the survey. I will put it here as well, so you all have it, access to it. Thank you for joining.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Alma. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, I'm going to disconnect now. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I will leave, actually, I will leave the presentation on with the QR code to the link, to the survey. So for everyone that didn't catch it, I'm gonna leave it here. Okay. Bye-bye.